Right, here we go. Here we go, 1 second.
The way Leonora came into our lives during the first lockdown was a big part of the reason I feel we as a community at Gateway managed to have actually a very fortunate experience, despite being isolated from all the people we loved in lockdown. Leonora taught us, and so became part of the family we have here, and the positive and enthusiastic ethos she brought to class every week was exactly what we all needed at that difficult time. For me personally, she taught me just before I began journey at the normal school of contemporary dance, and she helped steady me so much after spending so long away from dancing. To see a strong female dancer, strong both mentally and physically, was huge for me at the time. Because you have to be strong in order to make it in this life, and I think from looking at the career she has had and the people she's touched alone, it's clear she's done that, and we honour that now. I'm just so thankful to have experienced what she so generously gave to the world.
Leonora came to us when the doors after lockdown had just opened ever so slightly, and her light shone through. Although it was our first time meeting her, you could see her kind soul, but also her stern dedication. It is only a shame we didn't have more time with her. We will take her legacy forward with us, because she was an instrumental part in carrying us back to the world of dance as it is today, and initiating a new era at our company.
Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. Today we've got a special tribute to Leonora Stapleton. Sorry, I'm just a little bit emotional just watching that video. It's such a beautiful video and a beautiful story. Thank you so much, Esme, for producing that. It was absolutely beautiful. So we're going to go straight into this. Can we first hear from Dean, who is going to give us a little prayer before we start the show today? Thank you.
Okay, Father, we thank you for this blessed opportunity for us all to meet in unity here, to mark the passing of Leonora Stapleton, to keep her in our hearts and in our minds, and the family and the friends that she has left behind as well. We thank you for this opportunity to explore the whole theme of bereavement today and associated and related issues. We're also asking, Father, for your blessings on the communication and the platform that we're using right now, that there be minimal distractions and minimal disruptions as well, so that we all can truly benefit from what's being said and discussed here today. All these things we thank you for. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much for that, Dean. Wow. Wow. This has just, I am just overwhelmed. It's just so, so sad. And we have got a full packed show. Go ahead, Marcia.
No, it was just really, I'll just let you finish and then I'll speak.
No, you go ahead.
Okay. It was just the, you know, the piece that we've just watched was absolutely amazing. It was touching. And it's a tribute from Capua Gate, which is based in Newcastle, and that's part of the Gateway Studio CIO, which is a dance and related arts charity, which is based in the northeast of England, in Gateshead. And a message from Gateway Studios and from Capua, which is, it is with great sadness to hear of the passing of the incredible Leonora Stapleton, such a generous soul that we all miss dearly. Her legacy will live on through her students and the dancers that she's worked with. And here we have on the panel this afternoon, you know, dancers and students who have actually worked with her. So yeah, we just wanted to just say also that Leonora was invited up to Newcastle to Gateway Studios to work with Capua Gate, who are here now. And she made such an impression on them that they wanted to share their own tribute, which is what everybody has just seen here today. And they are here today with us. So that was just that. I just wanted to just...
No, thank you, Marcia. Thank you for that. And I know with the dancers, I know they've got some poems. Would they like to read out for us today? Is that Esmond?
Yeah, I might try.
Okay, no, yeah.
Yeah, I might try something for her. So Leonora gave us a hope of freeing our movements, start to cope. She gave us clarity and strive to protect our health mentally. She made us search for our light potentially. Her many love cherish ourselves with positive energy, raw emotions and compassion. Leonora left us a torch in our hearts to remember and continue embracing ourselves as dancers.
Thank you. Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much for that. And thank you so much for being on the platform to share with us all. So thank you. And thank you, Sharon, for joining us today.
I apologise for being late. Life's busy, and
Yeah,
my mother is getting to church and back, so that was really important. So I do apologise.
that's fine, Sharon. Thank you so much for joining us. It's well appreciated. Shall we go over to talk to Warren? Hi, Warren.
Hi.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us. I know it's a different time difference.
Thank you for having me. Hi, Shaz. How are you?
Hi, I'm good, Warren.
Good to see you. You know, I think for me, it's Sorry,
It's okay, you just take your time.
this is a hard one for me. Because I think we're living in a time right now where we are losing a lot of people, obviously due to, you know, the pandemic and you know, people that we just didn't think that during this time would leave our lives. And I think when it comes to Leonora, it's a hard one for me because she's such a important person in my life, has played such an important role. Seeing Sharon as well is really hard because it's such a, I consider my time in Leeds to have been the foundation of what I became as an artist. A lot of times when I'm lost, I turn back to Leeds. I was surrounded by artists that were, you know, amazing at Phoenix Dance Company. I joined in 1996, and they were incredible leaders. Sharon being one of them, Dawn, Steve, Rick, Celine, G, Tony, Yui, Melanie, Jeanette, Pam, Yui. And these were the people that made up my understanding of what it was to be an artist. I had left South Africa, I came to England, and I was at Rome Band, and I entered this place, the sanctuary, where we traveled the world, and you know, Brazil and Romania and the whole of England on that terrible little bus that we used to go around on. And Leonora walked in one day, and she took class with us, and I was like, who's that person? And she didn't dance with us, but she felt like she was just another piece of the puzzle, that she was very connected to everyone there. And I just remember watching her move. I was like, you know, she's incredible. Like, she just has this natural, beautiful power, but like not in a way that was jarring. It was explosive, but it was controlled, and there was a beauty behind it. And I asked everyone, I think I asked Sharon, it was like, who's that person? They were like, oh, she's from Leeds, but she's in New York now, and she's dancing with Donald Byrd. And I just remember thinking, I was like, wow, she went from here, she's dancing in New York. And at that point, I had no really big desires of New York. I was very happy where I was, but it was a shiny object that was always there, but you know, it felt very far. And we finished class, and she said goodbye to everyone. And I don't know what came over me. I just thought, you know, I ran to my locker, I grabbed a CV that I had, and I ran after her. And I was 19 at the time. And I said something very silly like, if you don't mind, can you please show this to America? And, you know, I laugh about, you know, we laughed about it many years later. And you know, she could have just done, you know, put in a bag, never looked at it again. But a few weeks, actually, months later, I got a call saying, come to audition and you can stay with me. And I did. I flew to New York, and I'd never been in America, and stayed with her, and I went to audition, and I got the job. And we traveled the country together. We did the Harlem Nutcracker, Donald Byrd's Harlem Nutcracker. And but I was also very naughty. I didn't tell her that I didn't have a place to stay once I started rehearsing, and I was homeless for several days. And she got mad at me. She gave me her keys, and she said, "You're going to stay in my apartment," because she was staying downtown at the time in Harlem. I stayed in her apartment, and she was very much this angel in my mind. I was like this person who took care of me. I knew nobody here. She showed me how to ride the New York subway. She showed me, you know, how to get from one place to the other. And she introduced me to people that are still, it's still my tribe today, the people that I'm very connected to. And I'll never forget, I choreographed Motown on Broadway, and days before we opened, I just ran into her at a grocery store, Fairway, on the Upper West Side. And we laughed, shared a drink, we had a hug, and we laughed about, the African kid who was like, showed this to America. She was like, look at you now, you're premiering, a Broadway show. I just think that as we move through life, there are these people that come into your life that play instrumental roles in ways that you don't fully comprehend until much later. And as I got older, I really started to think about, these people, and Leonora is a big part of that. And like I say, my foundation at Phoenix, these people who just helped shape my career. And I know it's not just me. I know that Leonora, wherever she went, that's how she touched people. Her light and her sincerity and her beauty, was beyond just the stage. It transcended into her life off stage as well. And so I'm happy to share this space with all of you today, who I know were also very, touched by Leonora and affected by her grace and her beauty. And sorry, that's all I have.
Wow. Wow, thank you so much, Warren, for sharing that. That's just a beautiful story. That's just so lovely. Marcia, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of, really moved by it. We're really absolutely happy that you were able to come on this platform to talk, to share your story with us. And again, it just kind of exemplifies what, we all think about Leonora, that her heart was so good.
Yeah.
And she was the person that would help anyone and everyone.
Absolutely.
Needed it. She was such a, a beautiful soul, a beautiful soul. So thank you so much for sharing that.
Absolutely. And this session is recorded, and it will be given to their family. Rosemary, Yasmin, it will be sent over to them. And I have told Rosemary and, I asked Rosemary and Yasmin for permission for me to do this before I went ahead and do this. So they're really happy, that we're taking the time out, to do this for their sister. So yeah, thank you so much, everyone. Fluid, would you like to?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good. Because I can't hear my end in my headphones. But I'm probably one of the few people here who's not actually a dancer. But I'm an old alumni of Hales Middle School, which many of you know is the starting point for so many dancers here in Leeds. Leonora, I've known her from almost the genesis of her artistic career. And one of the things is that I didn't become friends with Leonora because of her art. I became friends with Leonora because of her light. She's one of those people, as Warren would attest, and as we heard him say, one of those people that come into your life that is just a bright and shining and magnificent soul. Sometimes I'd be walking because I stopped driving, and an old car might pull up beside me, and it'd be a Leonora, and she'd say, "Where are you going?" And I could be miles away from where I'm going, and Leonora would take me there. She was always kind to me, supportive, humble. And in my opinion, she's one of the people that remind me that we have to give our luminaries their flowers while they're still here. I really enjoy, and I'm really pleased about the wonderful things people are saying about her now that she's gone. And the thing is, right, the truth is only the physical is gone. The energy that she radiated is within her soul, and that's the legacy of the work that she's left and the legacy of her art. But what we do have to remind ourselves is when people like her come into our lives, to lift them up with our feelings and our actions, and remind ourselves that we have to spread her legacy. We have to spread her legacy. There will be people who walk past Leonora every day without having an awareness of her magnificence. of her magnificence. Obviously, I went to Hayward Middle School, so I had some understanding of the art form of dance. So when I would see her perform, even a very young Leonora, I had an idea of how great she was, how great she was. And then you see the later works, and you see how she would pass on her talents to younger people. And that's the thing, Leonora didn't even look like she was old enough to pass on talents to younger people, because she was just this presence. And I'm actually glad that I was able to come on here and just share my thoughts and my feelings about how wonderful she was. And I would implore us to help lift up any other Leonoras out there that we are in contact with, because unfortunately, as we know, the time on this plane is relatively brief, and we never know when it's that last time you're going to see that person. The last time I saw Leonora, she took me in her car and took me home, and we spoke about me doing some music for one of her classes, and I said, yes, I'll get on that. And this came about. So I'm just glad to be here and to speak of her, and for the people who will see this in future years, and the family, you have my love, my honor, and my respect, and I'm glad that you are a light that's passed through my life.
Oh, thank you so much, Floyd. Thank you for that. And to anybody who's watching this, if you would like to come on here on this platform and say a few words for Leonora, you are more than welcome. Just let me know. I will send you the link. You can also leave a comment in the comments for us, and we can read them out on this platform as well. So please, and also like it and share it on to somebody else, because I'm sure somebody else who hasn't got Facebook and you're sitting next to them or whatever, please share it with somebody else. Let somebody else watch this.
While I'm here, can I just, on my screen, she's in the bottom corner. Sharon Watson is another one of those bright souls.
Absolutely.
One of those lights. And I'm pleased that she's actually getting the recognition and the kudos that she deserves. She's a wonderful person. And like myself and Dean and Marcia, she's now wearing her glasses.
I wasn't gonna say anything. I was gonna wait to get off the call to give her a hard time about the glasses.
It's fluid. You have to go there.
Always.
Well, you know, all the better for being able to be here and see you all. So it's a real pleasure, and thank you for what you've said. I don't know if it's the right time for me to add my comments to the.
Go ahead, Sharon, please.
Yeah, I just think we have lost such a beautiful soul. She, you know, Leonora being so understated in what she does and how she does it, I think almost magnified the persona of her as a person. She, you know, Warren talked a lot about the early days, and even earlier than that, Warren, was when I went to London to train. Leonora were a couple of years ahead of myself and my sister and a couple of other dancers that went, and we watched her. We looked at her as our role model, and it was quite surprising when she finished her training that she decided, I'm going to America. It was like, what do you mean you're going to America? You know, you've got things to do for us here. And off she went. It wasn't a second thought. And actually, thank God she did, because as Warren says, she became a beacon. She gave us the encouragement to know that we could step out of our boundaries. She enabled us to say that we could also be so flexible in the work that we want to do and the people we want to work with. But Leonora just did it. And she received so many of us on the other side of the waters when we arrived in America. She was able to give us the guidance and to help us to have that relationship with another world, another dance connectivity. But she also brought that back to the UK for us. And I think her time with us at Phoenix was pretty phenomenal. The woman was dynamic. And what an example to young dancers that are coming through, that you can have someone whose physicality is to be admired, whose personality was outstanding, and whose heart was pure. She was just always there for us. And even in this latter few years, we've just started building a project together, Leonora and I. And, you know, I hope in her honour that we can deliver the project. But she was part of our faculty at the Northern School of Contemporary Dance, and hoping to bring her even more so. She was due to teach this season, and the students have just come and said, we are so sorry. So she already had, in such a short space of time, an impact on that younger generation. And I hope in the future, we can honour her legacy in a way that Leonora deserves. So it's a real pleasure to be here and to be able to say these few words. But we have a soul that will hopefully be with us forever, and her impact will not be forgotten.
Wow. Oh, thank you so much, Sharon. That's, yeah, wow, it's beautiful, beautiful. Marcia?
Yeah, absolutely. I think what a beautiful tribute, Sharon. And, you know, absolutely, you know, I have to say, yeah, it'd be really lovely in terms of, you know, leaving a legacy for her. And I just wanted to talk to, we've got two members, I think Carlos was here, but he's dropped off, I think, but two members of Capua-Gate, based in northeast of England, at Gateshead. We'd love to hear from you about what impact, you know, Leonora had on you as new, you know, dancers, young dancers coming up now, up and coming. If you'd like to share.
You're both on mute at the moment.
Yeah, yeah.
Hello.
Hi.
Just to say that we met Leonora through Zoom, so it's a difficult situation on Zoom to kind of feel like you meet someone, but when you meet somebody whose personality can like overpower the fact that you're just on technology, like miles and miles away, I think it says a lot about how like vibrant as a person she was. And at that time, which is, I think for everyone was a really difficult, quite dark time, like to be so isolated, and especially as artists, like any artists, they love people. We want to be around people. We want to be able to have those connections to do what we love. And so to spend months on end not being able to be around people is really difficult. So she was kind of the perfect person for us to have gotten to know at that time, I feel, because she brings people together. She's doing it now. Like, that is incredible that she can do that. And through Zoom, it was even harder, but she managed to get everybody uplifted and moving and feeling good again. As a woman, like to see like a female dancer that physically strong was just like, in all different kinds of ways, like physically and mentally, that's so inspiring for me, because I aspire to be like that and to be like she was. We're quite a young company, like only a few years old. We're quite a small company right now as well. So any connections with teachers, choreographers that we manage to experience are very meaningful for us. And they're really setting up the foundations of where our company is, you know, going to go. So I think what we're trying to take from this is that the beautiful thing about dance and art is that you can sort of keep somebody's legacy going. And I think she's a big part of what Capua-Gate is and will be. So yeah.
No,
Thank you so much. Wow. That's amazing that she's made, you know, still impacting, you know, and it's wonderful to see. Thank you so much for sharing. What about you, Igor?
There we go. You're on mute.
Igor, I think they can you hear us?
All right.
You're on mute. I don't know if you can hear. Yeah, okay.
Are you? There we go. Here we go. Oh, you've muted yourself again.
It's gone back on mute. Yeah.
Yeah, someone's just calling at the moment. Sorry, apologies.
You've muted yourself again. There you go. Okay, there we go.
Okay, all right. For me personally, I think Leonora will always be a hope and a legacy and a touch of fire in my heart. And without her, I think I would have survived mentally with dance when it comes to that potentially. And I think the first time she came through, all I could feel was this mother energy, and I feel like all of us in the Cowboy group were needed, and that. And if it wasn't for her, then I don't think would have been really capable, mentally stable for us to continue dancing as we were at the moment. And for me, I just always remember Leonora. Even right now, I can remember her voice, just there shouting, even giving love and giving courage to us and cherish. And yeah, and all I can say at the moment is, yeah, I wish she was still here, and I still don't believe it at the moment.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Leslie, I wanted to just share one more thing. I've been thinking about the last few days. It's a Maya Angelou quote, and I'll just read it to you. She says, "I've learned that people will forget what you said. People will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel." And when I think, again, I go back to Leeds, the people that, like I said, it was part of my foundation, and Leonora is a part of that. That's how I remember her. You can point to certain days and certain things and what was said and but ultimately the thing that never leaves you is how people made you feel.
Yeah.
And I think Leonora's impact on our community, on our dance community, on her community in Leeds and in New York here, it goes, it goes beyond anything that was did. It's just how she made people feel. And I think if more of us in this crazy world we're living in right now lived by that mantra, I think we'd start to see a more beautiful world.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. I think Fluid, I think you was on mute then. Did you want to say something? Okay.
I was just agreeing.
Right.
Because it's one of the truest quotes there have been. That's one of the things that I do is generally not really live by what people say. I live by how they react with my energy. Because energy doesn't lie, and that's one of the great things about Leonora. Her energy was bright and pure, and that's about it. That's it.
Yeah. No. Thank you for sharing that. Wow. So Dean, at the moment we are going through, the community are going through a lot of sadness, a lot of grief. What can we do with this? Because we're losing too many loved ones, too many people who are so special. What can we do?
Okay, Leslie. Well, thanks for the question. And first of all, again, my condolences. While I'm using this platform also to say my condolences to all the family and all the friends of Leonora Stapleton. Let me just quickly before I go any further on that, and I didn't know her from back in the day, because I'm not originally from Leeds anyway. But she's one of those people where you get these people who really do leave a profound legacy, genuinely leave a profound legacy, and that's what I'm finding with the passing of Leonora. That genuinely people have nothing but real, genuine, positive remarks to make about her. And just being here at this point makes that even more clear and more apparent, you know, that she was a wonderful human being. So, you know, I just want to give my respects to all the friends and all the family of Leonora Stapleton. In terms of the direct question that you posed to me, Leslie, in terms of what can we do, I think just for everybody else's benefit, one of the reasons why Leslie is asking me that is because basically I'm one of the sort of founding members of a project called the Coping with Bereavement Project. And just for your benefit, how that worked is I'm part of Carmen Centered Community Interest Company. We're all about well-being. So it's a well-being organization. That can be broken down further, but I'm not going to go into all the details, but it's well-being and addressing health inequalities in and around the sort of Chapeltown and Here Hills regions of Leeds, primarily. So what happened was, we're based literally, where I'm based is literally on Chapeltown Road. I've got a vantage point. I can see whenever hearses are going down Chapeltown Road. Because what you'll find is it's that type of a community. Yeah, when there's a death, the hearses come down Chapeltown Road. And if anybody knows the deceased, they come out on the street to watch the hearse going down the road. Now, from my vantage point, looking through our office window, this is pre-COVID, before the lockdown. Let me make that point as well. There just seemed to be a spike, a real upward turn in the sheer magnitude of hearses coming down Chapeltown Road. The frequency, for some reason, just went through the roof. And to the point where it was so noticeable. And it was obviously for various reasons, because this was there's nothing to do with COVID at this stage. So obviously for various reasons, sickness, cancer, you name it. And we thought, wait a minute, what's going on here? And even more importantly, what are we going to do about it? What are we going to do about it? What can we do about it? So, like Leslie, you said, what can be done? So that's the same question we asked Leslie. What can we do? Now, being a well-being organization, we thought, well, our intervention can be something that can help with well-being. So obviously, we've got my wife, she's a complementary therapist. We were also working with another massage therapist, Hugh Davis, who you know as a dancer background. Yeah, who you mentioned, Warren. Yeah.
Sorry, can I just interrupt there to just mention to you?
Yes.
Hugh does send his apologies because he really wanted to be on this platform today, and he does send his apologies, but we will be sending him the recording. So I'll say, yeah, just wanted to say that. Go ahead, sorry, Dean.
I said that's fine. That's fine. I can also see Martin Hilton there as well, who knows me very, very, very well. So yes, indeed. We with Magic Hands and ourselves at Common Centre, basically we got together and said, look, let's work together to see if there's anything that can be done to help with the grief, the pain, the agony that's happening in the community. So that's how it started with the Coping with Bereavement Project. That's the first intervention that we could think of. Then it just grew organically from there. So from there, we started basically what's called around the world as a death cafe. I don't know if many people are aware of death cafes, but it's a space. It's supposed to be a safe space where people can come and discuss bereavement. We didn't like the term death cafe. We just didn't like the way it sounded, so we called it the Care Cafe. So we called it Care Cafe. That was our sort of model, and we're still doing that now once a month, where we invite people who've been recently bereaved or are expecting bereavement to come together to talk about issues and to explore issues as well. And we'll also discuss what we call the big questions as well. What can be done? Everybody grieves differently. So there's no one answer or one formula. There's no one cap fits all, sort of solution, if you like, or yeah. Everybody's different. Everybody grieves differently. Nobody can point the finger at another and saying, you're grieving all wrong. You're doing it wrong. Yeah. That's not the case. So it's really a question of listening to people, giving them the opportunity to talk if they want to, and at least creating the experience, right? And to learn from one another's experiences. And if there are any practical tips or that people can share, we encourage that, and it works really, really well. Yeah. It's a great way to discuss people's coping mechanisms. What works for you may not work for everybody, but at least if people are aware of of things, and we've seen that happen, we say, all right, okay, that's something I can look at. So Leslie, it's I'm not going to pretend that there's one answer for that. I think anybody who does suggest that there's one answer, I question that, to be honest. I question that. I think everybody is different. What we can do is listen, genuinely active listening, with that genuine interest, right? Yeah, that's basically for now. That's what I would say. That's what we try to do. Anything that can promote healing, that's what we do. That's what we do. So to hear the passing of Leonora, again, that's going to have shockwaves. I'm experiencing it. I'm witnessing the shockwaves that's having through the community for those who know of her, or at least know of her work and the impact that she's left on so many people, which has been, it's really apparent in this group here today.
Yeah. No, thank you so much, Dean, for sharing that with us. That's well appreciated. And Martin, welcome, Martin. Thank you so much, Martin, for joining us today.
Apologies for being late. I was driving. I was listening in. As I was driving. So excuse me. And I just really want to offer my condolences and love to the whole of the Stapleton family.
Thank you.
I have to leave soon, so I'm just going to basically say one of the coping mechanisms that I think of and use is that I try and help others, because then if I help lift the vibrations of somebody who's feeling bad, that actually helps me. It's not a selfless thing, it's not selfish either. It's something where you can help lift someone's vibrations. So if you enter a room and you leave and they feel better, that's part of the way of coping, in my opinion. And I think I did mention energy earlier, and energy, vibrational things, they're the kind of things that help us through these tough times. And as we've seen with things like cancer, COVID, etc., as Dean said, there's been lots and lots of bereavements in a very short space of time in our areas with lots of people we know, a lot of our peers. Whereas when we were children, it didn't feel like our peers were going. And because we're not children anymore, and it's good to see that Martin too is wearing his glasses. It's good to see that. We're all there, couple of grey whiskers in there. And yet, you know what? He's still a great dancer. He hides it under a bushel. But again, we're getting older. So we're more experienced. We're experiencing things that we never experienced before. And together, these are virtual forums, but many times we need to get together, because when you share energy with one another, especially good energy, that's what helps you through.
Absolutely.
In my humble opinion, and that's what it is. And when I'm around good people, I was out with Sharon the other week at BHI celebration, and the work I was doing that evening was better because the energy around me was really good.
Yeah.
And Sharon did cut a bit of a rug too, but but the energy is good. And when the energy is good, that's what helps us. So what we have to do as good people, because we know everybody's energy is not always, some people's energy is off, as we know. So if there's enough good energy in the room, the off energy doesn't really have time to thrive. So as people who are humble and who are honest, we go and spread that good energy where we go, and that helps. And I think that's the way forward. That's the way forward. And again, before I leave, I will say Leonora was one of those people, and she's an example to other people who are like her, that even if you meet her virtually, she leaves a mark. She's left a legacy. So if we want to honor her life, we have to do that too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Fluid, for that. That is so true. You've got to have that energy. I'm always filled with energy, but sometimes, sorry, Marcia, go ahead.
No. I was just, again, I feel like I'm cutting and I didn't mean to.
No.
It's just that there's been had a few messages of people not being able to watch. So what I'm saying is, if they go on to Real Table Talk Facebook page and refresh, sometimes that helps, and you should be able to pick it up. And also, if anybody wants to, I'm just reminding people, if you want to drop any comments, I'm here and I can read them out as well. So feel free to make any comments as well. I can't see any right now, so.
Right, no, thank you for that, Marcia. I will check as well to see. There's a message from Annette Sutton. Leonora was one of the Chapeltown's phenomenal women and gone far too soon. Rest in peace, dancing with the angels now. So thank you so much for that, Annette. But
Thank you very much, everyone, and continue on in the spirit of love. That's all I can say. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Fluid.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Right, would anybody else like to say anything? I don't want to see like I'm forcing anybody to speak. Go ahead, Martin.
Yeah, I just want to say Leonora was one of the first in one of the first performances that I ever saw, even before I started dancing. And the presence that she cut led me to be who I am today, because that was the beginning of my journey. And I remember being so impressed by what I saw, that when I had the opportunity, it was like to get Leonora to come and work with some of our dancers here in Gateshead. It was a no-brainer, because I know the power and the influence that she has, and the influence she's able to cast. And if it worked for me, I knew that she would be inspiring to some of our young people. And that was the beginning of that journey for some of our young dancers. And yes, it was difficult times. And I remember when being back at Phoenix, when Donald Byrd came over and Leonora came to work and assist. And they were some difficult times. And I remember Leonora pulling me across to the side and just telling me the difference between the UK and the States, and being that gentle soul who mediated the space in the studio at that time. She was more than just a phenomenal dancer. She was a fantastic spirit, amazing, supportive, but at the same time, she knew hard work. And I'm blessed to have known her and shared some space with her.
Oh, that's really nice. I know that I've read that she was part of Disney. She did the Lion King.
Yeah, I don't know if Warren knows more about that.
I actually, the way that I found out about Leonora's passing was, I got a message from the head of Disney Theatrical, Tom Schumacher, who runs the whole theatrical division, and he knew to reach out to me because I had told him the story, I think only about a year ago, about my connection to Leonora. I said, you can thank Leonora that I'm here, because of how I arrived in the States. And yes, in the theatrical community, she has left an enormous impact, both in the UK, in Amsterdam, in New York. She left, again, we've said it a few times, but she left a a trail, a legacy of just, you know, who she is, not just by definition of her work, but by definition of her persona and how she conducted herself. It was funny listening to Martin talk about, you know, Donald Byrd and being in, and I wasn't in the company at that time, but I just remember, you know, when I was telling people I wanted to go there, a lot of my company members at Phoenix were like, "Are you sure? Like, do you?" And when I arrived in New York and we were in rehearsal, it's a very different, you know, temperament, the way that folks in the UK work and the way that folks in the US work. I think I still prefer the way that folks in the UK work. But I remember one day, I think I ran into a problem, and I turned to Leonora, and she was just like, don't get caught up in the drama. Just, it will work out. Just, and so, you know, it was a few times that happened. Again, I think she was blessed with the gift of having worked on the other side of the pond and on this side. And that's how I think she's a special person, because she figured out how to work with both of those and created a pathway of how, you know, we can work together in a more seamless way. But I definitely do thank her for helping me navigate these very difficult waters over here in the US. Shaz, you're going to say something.
Yes.
Actually, Martin, you just reminded me of the Donald Byrd studio scenario. Oh my goodness, we nearly didn't have a company because of those differences. But what a fantastic mediator. And, you know, in a way, I think she had that as a natural inherent skill. But my goodness, that is real memories around that. And just, you know, calling both Leonora and Thea Barnes, who also has passed, God rest her soul, to come and mediate in the studio, because the dynamics were just becoming electric. And but what a piece we ended up, you know, devising. And it wasn't the last time that Leonora came back and helped to really form what it was that we needed to understand and how dynamic we could become as a result of the information she was happy to share with us. So yeah, she was quite incredible. And I think something that perhaps if you're not a dancer, you might not appreciate, but Leonora was really incredible at crossing over with the classical world, as well as the contemporary, as well as the Dunham technique, as well as, you know, the Graham technique. And for dancers, that's something, to be as versatile as that is what you strive for all your life, so that you have the choices. You've got incredible technique. She had a phenomenal body. And then to be able to step into any organization she wanted to, because she was so knowledgeable physically as well as emotionally. So I think there was something incredibly special about being that person and being that role model that we could see that, you know, by doing what she's done, embracing the forms of technique, by demonstrating that physically, that we could definitely step and follow her shoes. So for those that are not dancers, I think that's really important to acknowledge, because our world is such a challenging world in terms of people understanding diversity and inclusion and difference. But she walked into those spaces with absolute confidence and delivered to the max.
Wow, that is so beautiful. What beautiful stories we're hearing all about her work, and that is fantastic. Fantastic. I don't know if anybody else would like to say anything else. Marcia, have we got any comments or anything?
I can't see, I don't know what the issue might be, but I can't see any comments at all. Okay. So I'm not sure what's going on here for me.
Leslie, I'm going to have to go. I'm going to have to love and leave you, but I would just want to say that we will continue to support whatever becomes Leonora's legacy. And I hope that we can make that happen together. So we have a conversation really to pick up from here on out.
Yeah.
But,
and I also had to run, and I just want to say, seeing all of my Northern friends, I miss you, I love you. And as soon as these travel restrictions and whatnot is lifted, I definitely want to come break bread with you again up in Leeds. Martin, you'll have to come over. I think you're in Newcastle, but
just down the road, just down the road.
Yeah, I know, bro. I know how small that place is. So, but I definitely look for it. It's like I said, it's I don't say this in a light way. My time in Leeds, I really consider my second home. South Africa, Leeds, and obviously now in New York. when I was going from London to Leeds, everyone thought I was nuts. They're like, why are you going to Leeds? You could have a career down here. And I always look back at that as going, that is one of the greatest decisions I made. And I miss all of you. And so I look forward to seeing all of you soon.
Oh, thank you so much for joining us, Warren.
Thank you. Take care, everyone.
Warren, speak to you soon.
We'll talk soon.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Oh, thank you so
Bye,
much, Sharon. Thank you
Bye-bye.
so much. Bye. We've also got a message here from Pam Johnson. Can you see that?
No, I can't see it. Oh, hang on now. I can. Yes. Right. So Pam has said, my heart is broken. Oops. My heart is broken for her loss, but so very grateful to have known her. Her legacy and her spirit will live on. Rest in eternal peace, oh beautiful soul. And my love to all the Stapleton family. That's from Pam.
Thank you so much, Pam, for that. Right.
I know, Dean, you wanted to say something, didn't you?
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Dean.
Yeah, that's fine. Thanks. It goes back to that original question that you posed to me. I just wanted to perhaps end on this one as well. That what we can do to help, like I said, there's no one answer for everybody. So for us, it's finding what some of the common themes are and the common ground. And literally on the point of common ground, something else that we've managed to achieve at Coping with Bereavement Project is working alongside the Mary Seco Nurses Association. Now they have historically owned a piece of land outside of the Leeds Black Elders Library, not far from the Bain Hub, which used to be Frederick Hurdle. I know, yeah, for listeners who may not know Leeds, it's on basically on Chaptertown Road. So we've managed to gain access to that land and to use it for memorial gardens for people who are passing away.
Wow.
In the community. So it becomes, because it was being overrun. So I got speaking with the Nurses Association, and we've linked up basically, and we're working to do that. I think it's quite an exciting project because people and funders are excited by what we're saying, by the proposal, because obviously it's long term, it adds value to the region, and it's a real eyepiece where, real significant location where everybody from the community can feel a sense of bonding and honouring the bereaved. I'm hoping that as a result of this real table talk as well, that maybe we can look at that with the Stapleton family to see in what ways we might be able to honour the memory of Leonora.
Yeah.
Because the impact that she's made, it's just so clear. I mean, like Fluid was saying earlier on, I'm not a dancer, so I don't have the dancer's background. I can only listen and marvel at some of the stories and the history of dance in Leeds, which is a fascinating story, But there's no doubt about it. She's left a massive impact, a great legacy. And I just wanted to make that point, that that's another way we can help people by helping to keep those memories alive and really show that respect for the legacies that they've left behind.
Yeah. Wow, that would be amazing. That sounds fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sounds so nice. Well, Marcia, did you want to say?
Oh, yeah, I know that we showed the film, the short clip that Gateway Studio and Capelgate made in tribute to Leonora, and I just wondered, for those that may have missed it at the beginning, if we could maybe.
Oh yes, definitely. That's a good reminder. Thank you for that. Let's get that playing. 1 second. Can you see that, Marcia?
Yeah, it's playing now. Yeah.
into our lives during the first lockdown was a big part of the reason I feel we as a community at Gateway managed to have actually a very fortunate experience despite being isolated from all the people we loved in lockdown. Leonora taught us and so became part of the family we have here, and the positive and enthusiastic ethos she brought to class every week was exactly what we all needed at that difficult time. For me personally, she taught me just before I began training at the normal school contemporary dance, and she helped steady me so much after spending so long away from dancing. To see a strong female dancer, strong both mentally and physically, was huge for me at the time. Because you have to be strong in order to make it in this life, and I think from looking at the career she has had and the people she's touched alone, it's clear she's done that, and we honour that now. I'm just so thankful to have experienced what she so generously gave to the world.
Leonora came to us from the doors after lockdown and just opened ever so slightly, and her light shone through. Although it was our first time meeting her, you could see her kind soul, but also her stern dedication. It is only a shame we didn't have more time with her. We will take her legacy forward with us, because she was an instrumental part in carrying us back to the world of dance as it is today, and initiating a new era at our company.
Every time I see that, I just get moved. And I just want to say a big thank you to, Gateway Studios,
Yeah.
Gate, for what they've done. I mean, it's so beautiful. To Igor, to Esme, to Carlos, who was here earlier but had to go off, and to Marcio. He did actually also write something that I'd just like to share as well. Let's find it. And then Winnie. Okay, so he said, Marcio, I didn't know Leonora personally, but it was an honor for me to be part of the teachings. From the time she was teaching us, I could tell her energy was powerful. You could feel her presence in the studio, through the screen, and also what she had to offer. She made me feel seen out of a class of amazing students. She gave us a lot during a time when it was difficult to see what the future holds. Thank you and rest in peace, Leonora.
I think that was written by Marshall. You said Marcio, but in fact it was Marshall.
Okay.
Okay. Apologies if we got those names mixed up. I just wanted to say it's the piece you saw was choreographed by Carlos Martinez, and he did the editing and pulled that short video together for Leonora. So a huge thank you to Carlos.
Yeah, it was beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. It was a beautiful dance. It was very powerful, very inspiring. Yeah, and very emotional. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. It's well appreciated. And I know I did send it over to Rosemary and Yasmin, and I know they really appreciate that as well. So thank you so much, guys.
Welcome.
Right. So would you like anybody else before we come to a close? Anybody else, any comments or anything else before we, would you like to say anything else? Dean, Martin, Esme, I go.
Just
No?
thank you for inviting us on, allowing us to share the space with you and the opportunity to remember Leonora. Thank you for that.
No, thank you. Thank you. Honestly, it's been amazing. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Well appreciated. It's been
Yeah,
really
again,
nice putting this together for her.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Dean.
No, just echoing what's already been said, really. Just a great opportunity to be on this platform, to mark the passing of somebody who's left such a legacy, and to obviously to briefly touch on some of the related issues around bereavement, but you know, again, condolences to the friends and family.
Yeah. Marcia, would you like to say anything or any more?
Yeah, I think you know, I'm really moved by everything that everyone has had to say about Leonora, and just as everyone's saying, she has left such an impact on on the community, not just our community but the wider community, the world, really, and yeah, I just think her passing has shocked so many people. It's rocked a lot of people, and as was mentioned earlier, I think Dean was saying earlier, that so many, there's been such loss in the community, and it's that collective trauma that we're all feeling. And to be able to celebrate her life is it's a bit uplifting, but we need to continue to uphold and support one another and look at ways that we can collectively, heal, because I think there's a lot of healing to happen for us in the community. And Dean, the Care Cafe, I'd encourage everyone who is feeling bad, to check that out as well. And to you, Wayne, I know everybody knows you as Martin, but you're my brother, so it's Wayne. and to Capogate, you have done absolutely amazing. I am still quite moved every time I watch that.
Oh yeah.
And thank you for your contribution to, today. It's been absolutely amazing. So
Yes.
thank you.
No, yeah, definitely. I'm echoing everything what Marcia has just said. Thank you so much, Martin. It's just been amazing. And to you guys for producing such an amazing video dance piece. And thank you to everybody who's been on the platform. I know we had a few people who couldn't make it, but they send their condolences to the family. And yeah, and if there's any more comments or anybody who would like to say anything else, then before we go ahead, Marcia.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Esme didn't say it, but I'll say it for her. She says that she feels honoured to have known her in a way that allows her to speak about her and the impact that she's had on you, Esme, and that you honour her now. And that's beautiful. I just thought we're going to share that with everybody.
No, thank you.
But thank you for having me.
No, thank you. Thank you for coming on here. It's well appreciated.
Yeah.
Okay, right. So
I just want to say,
sorry?
yeah, I just want to say a couple words as well before it ends. I just want to say thank you for having me as well, and the opportunity on being on your platform, and also to contribute to her legacy. And in the future, we're going to continue expressing ourselves through her words in our movements, and we'll continue our live on.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank
no,
you.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much. Thank you.
You're all amazing, honestly.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah, we appreciate that.
Absolutely.
What a legacy to leave for her.
Yeah, fantastic.
Thank you.
It's absolutely brilliant. She's just loved so much, and wow, you just want it to change around, don't you? Do you know what I mean? You want it, you know what I mean? It's just not fair, it's just not right. But yeah. Yeah, it's sad. But how can we get hold of her movie in the Disney? Do you know, Martin?
I'm not sure. We can ask some questions and we can try and find out.
Yeah, I was meant to ask Warren that to see if there's any way we could, you know, get hold of that so we could watch that. That'd be lovely to see that.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll be able to pull something together, and maybe like a reel of different works that she's been in. So that might take some time to track down.
Yeah.
But yeah, Warren might be able to help. Excuse me, on the state side.
Yeah. No, that'd be fantastic to
Yeah.
watch that. Yeah. Okay then. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in and for your comments. It's well appreciated, and I know the family will be really appreciative as well. So thank you. If there's not anything else, then we're going to bring this meeting to a close. But thank you so much, everyone who participated today. Well appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Thank you. Bye.